Good afternoon, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I am on a binge watching streak with Neil deGrasse Tyson, the famous mathematician slash physicist probably, and I want to comment on the latest short that I just watched of his, where he asks the question, is it possible for a human being, an ordinary human being, to comprehend the entirety of the universe? Fair question. It makes a lot of sense. Actually, it makes a lot of sense. I don't claim to have the answer, first of all. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm knowledgeable as to the nature of everything, but I do know the pattern of understanding, the pattern of learning about things and experience. And you can kind of imagine how this goes, right? With very simple ideas such as, arithmetic, elementary arithmetic, how it becomes obvious after you're familiar a little bit with the process, right? 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, well, it wasn't obvious when you first heard it, but now it is. Very likely it's obvious now. You don't even have to think about it. And as the advanced math, becomes more understandable as you learn math, that is, you more and more things become obvious, right? It's not the mystery starts to fall away is what I'm trying to say. The mystery begins to fall away with the more experience and understanding you have. And I want to quote Timothy Leary here. Timothy Leary was the famous psychiatrist and shaman, actually, in the 60s and 70s, who had a huge following. He was actually a Harvard professor and wrote a great deal about psychedelic experiences as they relate to psychiatry and human thinking and spirituality itself. Very famous and controversial man, but he said one thing that sticks out to me and is relevant to the subject here. He said that in one of his many trips and explorations into the the world of psychedelics, he found something. He brought back a gem on one of these trips, and it was unforgettable. Perhaps one of the most profound truths that I've ever heard in my life, actually, and that is a truth about truth itself. In terms of philosophy, this is one of those things that is right on par with cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am, about that level of importance and iconic meaning. What he said, to get to it, is the truth, when told so as to be understood, will be believed. And this has an understated relevancy to just about everything you can possibly know. And it means, in other words, that when something is true, it is not only self-evident, but it fits with everything. And it is automatically believed because it fits with your worldview, assuming that you are not delusional to begin with. Most people are not, unfortunately, I should say. So I'll say it again. The truth, when told so as to be understood, will be believed. And it's a truth about truth, and it is true every time you say it. And in the context of the original question, can a human being, an ordinary, unaugmented human being understand the entirety of the universe? Well, I think that it depends on how much time you have, right? Sure, why not? I don't see any reason why not. I think that in the fullness of time, pretty much nothing is impossible unless it is a logical contradiction. Unless it is an actual deal-breaking paradox, anything is possible in the fullness of time. Our problems are temporal, usually. That is, finding a practical solution within a time frame, usually a human lifetime or less than if you have other constraints. But if time and resources are not an object, I see no reason why the frog cannot understand the ocean from the bottom of his well, so to speak. It's a famous metaphor. Can you communicate what the ocean is to a frog who lives at the bottom of a well? It's meant to highlight the challenges of bringing understanding despite language barriers, intelligence barriers, experience barriers, having everything set against you. But is it possible for the frog at the bottom of the well to understand somehow that elsewhere, a place he's never been, has never even seen or imagined, despite all of the difficulties in communicating it, that ocean exists, and to really understand the nature of it? I got to think that there's a way that that frog could catch a glimpse of it somehow. Reach out if you like with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com and look for the link to that description. I'm sorry, the link to that video in the description of this video. Thank you.